the ice tilts in favor of men. But that will never stop us.
United by passion, battling for equity. We are the National Women's Para Hockey Team of Canada.
We're here.
We're hungry.
We're ready.
Ready to inspire.
Ready to leave our legacy.
Ready to be supported and make history. It's our time. Are you ready?
I lost my job recently, and it's been tough to keep my spirits up. I feel like I'm failing my family. Your prayers have given me renewed hope and guidance. You were there for me in my darkest moments, shining a guiding light. Thankful to say, our prayers have been answered.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you a man that I have worked for 10 years here at this event, and I'm thrilled each year to be back and be part of this event that's being led by this gentleman, our founder and chairman, Mr. Rob McLeese, and his wonderful wife, Rosemary, who explore dedication to this event that is beyond belief. What a great job they do, Rosemary and Rob McLeese, our founder and chairman. Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
Thank you very much, Ed. It is with the greatest respect that we offer our acknowledgement that the land on which we gather is the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Saugeen Ojibwe First Nations, and specifically the Chippewas of Nawash Unceded First Nation. We are grateful to have the opportunity to gather on this territory. Welcome, everybody. We're thrilled to have you here. This is our 10th Cobble Beach Concours d'Elegance, and we are so lucky to have an incredible, beautiful day and to have you all able to enjoy these wonderful vehicles in these idyllic surroundings in Grey Bruce. I'd like to acknowledge and thank all the volunteers who live in Grey County and those who have traveled farther to help support us. And we have about 200 people who have helped us on this journey. Thank you to the staff here at Cobble Beach and the Cobble Beach Concours d'Elegance team based in Toronto. Thank you also to our honorary judges, shadow judges, special advisors, paramedics, Ontario Provincial Police, and others from Grey County. Today would not be possible without all of your enthusiastic support and involvement. And this weekend. Thank you to our many sponsors, many of whom are listed on the board outside the pavilion, over here, just over the bridge when you're leaving. And we'd like to especially acknowledge all of our sponsors, including the Ontario Government, Experience Ontario, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport, Rogers Communications, CAA Motor Club, Haggerty Classic Car Insurance, Wallace Automotive, Bruce Power, RBC Dominion Securities, Brackett Auto Group, Chevron Canada, Andrew Schuler Family, Bayshore Broadcasting, the Globe and Mail, PAL Insurance, Van Dolder's Home Team, Dunvegan Building Group, Peninsula Ford, Hugh Wood Insurance, the Miller Group, TFX International, GFS, Gordon Food Services, Mito Graphics, Grand Touring Automobiles, Corpay, Flow Hydration, General Motors of Canada, Hewitt and Milne, Kawasaki Canada, Lifford Wine and Spirits, Walker Industries, Citizen Watch Company, also Bulova, Canadian Tire Owen Sound, Porter Airlines, and Up Auto. Now, of course, there would be no Concours without our participants who have brought their wonderful cars and motorcycles to Cobble Beach from as far away as Newfoundland, Florida, Missouri, and many of the vehicles you see today have come from 12 U.S. states and 9 Canadian provinces. Thank you to the Concours team this year, consisting of Ali Marsh, Paige Nethercott, and supported by Dave Murphy, our registrar, Lisa Deedles and Robin Faulkner as co-show secretaries, and Franco Begnaden as our treasurer. Finally, I want to especially thank my wife, Rosemary, helper extraordinaire, and our sons, Jeffrey, Stephen, and Paul McLeese, Jeff's wife, Heather, and Stephen's wife, Lisa, our award presenters, for their help and support in making today happen. Many of you have heard over the last couple of days, we're very proud that in the first 9 years, our Concours has raised over $1 million for our 2 charities, Bright Shores Hospital Foundation and the Sunnybrook Foundation. And our totals for 2024 are not available yet, but we hope to make both charities proud. I know at this point we're over $100,000 for the 2 of them. I'd like to introduce our MC, Mr. Ed Lucas from Michigan, lifelong car enthusiast, former director and chief judge for the Classic Car Club of America, an expert commentator for the Barrett-Jackson auctions, as well as several high-end concours, such as Amelia Island, and he is our returning MC for this weekend for the 10th time. Over to you, Ed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob, for your kind words. An important aspect of this event that I enjoy very much, and I'm sure the rest of you do, it's a family affair. The whole family, the whole McLeese family is involved, and that is very special. My congratulations to you and Rosemary. Thank you, Rob. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, we'd like to introduce Member of Provincial Parliament for Grey Bruce, Mr. Rick Byers.
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here with you at Concours d'Elegance. What an amazing afternoon and an amazing event. The 10th such event, and the impact it's having is just extraordinary, and the money raised is just incredible. So congratulations and thanks. Great to be here with you. And I must say, when Margot and I were looking through the vehicles before coming up here, all we could think of was, wow. Just amazing, just incredible technology. And what amazed me most is they're all so clean. I'm going to have to go back and give my F-150 a bath when we get back. And it's amazing, though, and just incredible to have this kind of presence here in our great Grey Bruce community. I mean, this is what's so incredible of Concours d'Elegance. It's really the premier car show in Canada. And to hear you all coming from not only this province, but across the country and around North America. It's absolutely amazing. And it's great for our local community, but it also attracts so many people to Grey Bruce, and they fall in love with it the way we all have done. And so thank you to Rob and Rosemary and the whole McLeese family for all you've done. It's a really, really big impact on our community and does so much good. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Minister Byers. Our next introduction, Chief Administrative Officer on behalf of Mayor Sue Carlton, the Mayor of Township of Georgian Bluff. Please let me introduce Mr. Niall Lobley.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of Mayor Carlton and Deputy Mayor Pringle and members of Council who couldn't make it today, I'm delighted to be here to bring words of welcome and support on behalf of the Township of Georgian Bluffs to this weekend's Concours d'Elegance. Thank you to the participants, the exhibitors, staff and volunteers for making this event a continuing success. Events such as this are a true opportunity to showcase the amazing environment, attractions and generous hospitality of the Grey Bruce area, and particularly here, the Township of Georgian Bluffs. Thank you, Rob and Rosemary, and the McLeish family for choosing Georgian Bluffs to be the home for Cobble Beach and investing so deeply in this area. And after 10 years and more than $1 million raised for good causes, on behalf of the Township, thank you. Welcome to Georgian Bluffs, and sit back and enjoy 100+ years of automotive excellence roll past you. Thank you.
Thank you, Niall. Our next VIP, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce to you Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Sunnybrook Foundation, Mr. Phil Crawley. Welcome, Phil.
Hi, thank you very much. I just want to say a very quick thank you on behalf of Sunnybrook Foundation. The money you keep on raising is really making a difference. It's much appreciated by the doctors, the staff, the donors, the scientists. It's doing lots of things. It's helping people who are victims of emergencies, whatever that might be. With the creation of a helipad that you helped to pay for. Sunnybrook's the biggest emergency hospital in the province, and we've got ambitious plans to spend more money on it in the coming years. It's also applying the latest science and technology to brain disorders, and the opening next month of the Hurwitz Brain Sciences Center at Sunnybrook will be the best place in Canada for treating various kinds of brain disorders using the kind of technology that makes just you feel inspired by what you can do with the new technology, the digital science, the application of the latest thinking. So that's what the money is going for. It's a very good cause. Much appreciate your generosity year after year, and congratulations to the McLeish family for making this happen again in such beautiful surroundings, beautiful weather. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crawley. The next introduction is extremely important at a Concours d'Elegance. He is our chief judge. He leads this entire team of expert judges to make decisions on the cars on the field. This man has over 40 years, if I may mention that, John, 40 years of judging experience and excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from BC, I believe, our chief judge, Mr. John Carlson.
Thank you very much, Ed. It really is a privilege and a pleasure to be able to work with this esteemed group of people. They're from the United States, they're from Canada, some are even from Europe. We have the best of the best. I'd like to introduce them to you now. And as I call your names, gentlemen and ladies, would you please come up to the stage and get ready for a photograph. Our honorary judges this year are Dr. Paul Sable from Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. He's our chief honorary judge. Mr. Kip Wasemko, Cadillac Design, 30 years, been with us for many, many years here at Cobble Beach. Kip, if you'd come up, please, honorary judge. And honorary judge, Mr. Ken Gross from the United States, Virginia, all the way from Virginia. Thank you very much. And come up to the stage up here, please, for your pictures. That way, right there. Go to the middle. Perfect. As I call your names, gentlemen and ladies, please come up. Doug Adams, Andy Anderson, Bill Armstrong, John Ballard, Ms. Charlie Becker, Martin Beer, Steve Beer, Blair Chisholm, Bob Ford, Rich France, Randy Gananathan, Ryan Godin, Jean-Yves Gauthier, Ken Gross is there already, Jim Herbert, Fred Johansson, Terry Johnson, Doug Keith, Michael Kimry, Conrad Lelivre, Stephen Locker, Morley McDonald, Don McDonald, Jeff McLeese, Paul McLeese, Steve McLeese, Nicholas Marinese, Ms. Alexandra Marsland, Paul Martin, Wilfred Mose, Dr. Mark Moskowitz, Gary Nolan, Greg Ornazian, Paula Slansky, Hunt Palmer Ball, Kim Pierce, Jay Quayle, Patrick Rizzo, George Ross, Roy Scholl, Chuck Stanford, Susan Tadios, Michael Tilson, Kip Wasenko, and Ed Winkler. Our shadow judges are Dane Helkew and Marc-Andre Gauthier. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of judges for 2024. Thank you so much for joining us and doing all of the work to make these wonderful cars fall into the line.
Thank you, John. We have an award here, a very special award. And by the way, congratulations, John, on leading that expert team of judges to try and judge and handle all these fabulous cars on the field today. We have a special award for the National Association of Automobile Clubs of Canada Hobbyist of the Year. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is being presented to the NAACA Director and Treasurer, Mr. Doug Keith.
If I could ask Doug to come forward. Doug has been a member of the National Association of Automobile Clubs for over 50 years. I work with him on a weekly basis. I can't tell you anybody who is more dedicated to this hobby. Can you imagine, when you talk about Hobbyist of the Year, this is a gentleman that just brought a Model A Roadster pickup all the way from Saskatchewan so he could put it in Cars and Coffee, as opposed to just putting it in the show itself. The car is on display on the fairway down the road. If you get a chance to take a look at it, it's a wonderful vehicle. Doug, on behalf of the National Association, thank you for all your hard work. Thank you. I'll just give a little bit of a PR for the National Association. This is a group that was formed in 1970 with the sole intent of paralleling SEMA in the United States. This is the watchdog for collector cars across Canada. It's represented in every province in Canada, and what it does is ensure that our vehicles are able to be kept driving on the public highways. In the last 10 years, it's presented 15 different lobbies to the federal government, and all 15 lobbies were approved by the federal government to allow you to continue to drive your cars. The most significant was the Bill 241 that said we're going to remove all 1978 and older vehicles from the public highways. Can you imagine? They had no idea what they were getting themselves into because they hadn't considered any of the collector cars. $100,000 later, and over 100,000 petition and individual letters, they reversed that legislation. So when your clubs are asked to join the National Association of Automobile Clubs of Canada, please consider it seriously. Thank you again.
Thank you, John. Congratulations, Doug. A very, very special award to a very special person. Congratulations. Fashion Award for the Spectator. Fashion Award for the Spectator to be presented by Karen Winkler and Rosemary McLeese, Leonie and Leandra Langer. Are they here?
Yes, they're coming right now.
And here they come.
And these are our newest auto hobbyists.
These cute two
and enthusiasts.
Are the Fashion Award winners.
Hey guys.
Leonie and Leandra
Enchanté.
Langer. Congratulations, you two. How sweet it is.
Prochaine.
Show it to the camera.
Can you show it to the camera, guys? Merci. Au revoir. Bonne journée.
Congratulations. How sweet that is. That's great.
We'll have another one fashion award for participants will be later.
Fashion Award for participants will be awarded later in our program. We're ready for car awards. Are we not, Rob?
Yes, we are.
We are. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get down to business. With all these fabulous cars on the field, I'm sure that John Carlson and his team of expert judges had a wonderful time making their selections. I don't envy what they had to do. Bring it on up. Horseless carriage. Horseless carriage. Our very first class of automobiles. Third place, ladies and gentlemen. 1915 Cadillac, Series 51, owned by Robert Thompson from Port Elgin. That is a V8 powered automobile. What an advancement that was when Cadillac brought out the first V8 motor back then. 1915 V8 power from Cadillac, the standard of the world. That's third place. Robert Thompson, Port Elgin. Lisa and Heather, our two lovely award presenters. Ladies, it's a thrill to have you here. Second place. You talk about history. Here's a car that's over 100 years old. A 1903 Ford, and it happened to be a Model A, owned by Dennis Huron from Port Perry, Ontario. This vehicle has been owned by one family since 1903. 121 years old. And its serial number, I believe it's serial number 103, one of the first Model A Fords made in 1903. Talk about historic. That is a beauty. It runs and drives. Notice the door in the back. That's a rear entrance tonneau. And here's our first place car, best in class, 1909 Ford Model T Touring. 1909. Model T, owned by Hugo Vermeulen from Oshawa. Now, most Model Ts back then were black, but I guess you could get one in red if you tried real hard. And notice all the bright work is brass. This was way before chrome was invented. And you had brass trim, and if you wanted it to shine, you better polish it frequently. Left-hand drive. Back in 1909, most cars were right-hand drive. The Ford of that year is left-hand drive. And this has the optional windshield and top. Those were options. Windshield and top. Beautiful red Model T with brass trim work. Ah, it's got an exhaust whistle. Sir, slow that thing down.
He's supposed to go up there and they ran away. Yeah.
There he goes. Okay. Class 2, pre-war American production, 1916 to 1942, third place, 1939 Ford Standard Coupe. Bruce Wallace from Lincoln, Ontario. Flathead V8 power, 1939. 1939, that was the last year for four shift at Ford and the first year for hydraulic brakes. Many, many customizers and hot rodders love this coupe body style, and they did a lot of work on those cars. This one belongs to Bruce Wallace from Lincoln, Ontario. Here's a rare one, ladies and gentlemen, 1932 Ford four-door Phaeton. Only a few hundred of those were made. Here is a great survivor. Wire wheels, side mounts, luggage rack, luggage box on the back. Second place, V8 power. First year for V8 at Ford, 1932. You could also get the four-cylinder if you so desired, but the V8 was introduced by Ford in 1932. Wayne Shepard from Belleville is a proud owner of that 32 Ford Phaeton. You won't see one of those very often. Thank you, Wayne Shepard. First place, up next, 1935 Ford two-door standard sedan. Pre-war American production. Here's best in class, 1935 Ford standard. Does not have a chrome grille. The Deluxe had a chrome grille. This has a rear-mounted spare. Thomas Harper from Bedford, Virginia. 1935 Ford two-door standard sedan. That's best in class, in class 2. Congratulations, Thomas Harper. Up next, Class 3, Classic Car Club of America, full classic cars 1915 to 1948. Third place, the top of the line at Cadillac in 1931. It's a V16, 16 cylinders, a leader in the multi-cylinder race. Second year for the V16 at Cadillac, 1931, convertible coupe. Brent and Connie Erickson from Thamesville. Brent and Connie Erickson, that wonderful 16-cylinder. They cost over $5,000 in 1931 at the height of the Depression. Side mounts, rear view mirrors on the tires, rumble seat, and rear luggage rack. Third place. Second place, all the way from Rochester Hills, Michigan, Mr. Greg Ornazian and a 1928 Auburn Boattail Speedster. Hey, Greg, the Big O. That's an Auburn, ladies and gentlemen, the first series and the very first year of the first series, 1928. That's the small 8, an 888. Boattail Speedster, designed by none other than Al Leamy. Side mounts, chrome wire wheels, hideaway top, just has a little rain top. Lycoming motor. E.L. Cord owned Auburn at the time. He also owned Lycoming Engine Company. Greg Ornazian from Rochester Hills, Michigan. And last year, I believe, Greg won Best in Show here with an L29 Cord. He's got a great collection. All right, first place, Best in Show, Best in Class. First place, American Full Classic, 1932 Marmon 16 cylinders, competitor to the Cadillac 16, one of 7 convertible coupes known to exist. That's a LeBaron design, built by Marmon, 16-cylinder aluminum block motor, fork and blade connecting rods, very, very innovative. There were only 500 16-cylinder Marmons made, and about 55 or 60 are still in existence. Dual taillights, chrome wire wheel, dual side mounts, and 16 cylinders under the hood. Gallery 260 is the owner. That's Brent Merrill in Toronto. What a great collection. A Marmon 16, best in class. Classic Car Club of America European, full classics. 1915 and 1948, third place. A 1935 Swallow, a Swallow coach building company, convertible, rear-mounted spare, luggage box, owned by Eduardo Zavala from St. Petersburg, Florida. An SS1 coupe. After the war, that name was changed to Jaguar to eliminate any confusion with the other SS in the world. 1935 Swallow coach building company coupe. Second place, 1924 Delage GL skiff, torpedo skiff. A GL, a Grand Lux, owned by Ted and Mary Stahl from Chesterfield, Michigan, with a wonderful collection of cars, about 150 cars. Here's a double windshield, wooden-bodied skiff torpedo by La Burdette. Rear-mounted spare, spotlight, fabulous automobile, a 1924 Delage, a GL skiff, Grand Lux. Second place in the European Classic class. Ted and Mary Stahl from Chesterfield Township, Michigan. Here's best in class, ladies and gentlemen, 1947 Bentley Mark 6. Mark 6 coupe, a custom coupe, body built by Fagoni and Filasci, not Bentley, Fagoni and Filasci. 1947 Fagoni and Filasci coupe, owned by John Shalhoub from St. Louis, Missouri. Look at the style of that car. Pontoon fenders, rear fender skirts, long swoopy rear end, chrome trim. Wow, what a car. That's best in class, a 47 Bentley Mark 6 with a custom body. Congratulations, John Shalhoub from St. Louis, Missouri. Next class, European production, pre-1980. Pre-1980. Third place, 1971 Saab 96, model 96, owned by Matt Stimpson from Peterborough. Very special design on that Saab 96, a 1971 model. Third place in European production. Congratulations, Matt, from Peterborough. And Heather and Lisa presenting the trophies to our owners. And doing a beautiful job of it, I might add. Second place. Second place in European production, pre-1980. 1927 Austin 7 Saloon Type R, known as the Top Hat. Do we have? It's coming, Austin, 1927. John Mousson from Coldwater. Now, that could be Michigan, or it could be Ontario. Ontario, okay, all I have here is Coldwater. Coldwater, Ontario. 27 Austin 7 Saloon Type R, Top Hat, it's called. What a little cutie, isn't that great? A little Austin. John Mousson from Coldwater, Ontario. Congratulations.
Awfully different without you.
Oh my word, they hot rodded it. Originally it had 7 horsepower. Rob just told me they increased it to 10. Yeah. What a sweetheart. And here's best in class, ladies and gentlemen. 1969 Alfa Romeo 1750 GTV. Best in class, first place, European production pre-1980, 69 Alfa Romeo 1750 GTV, owned by Rossano Trevisan from Oakville. Congratulations, Rossano, on the Alfa Romeo. 1969. Class 6, European sports cars, pre-1980. Pre-1980. Third place, 1967 Ferrari 330 GTC. Ferrari, the world's sports car. Unmistakably a Ferrari. Front engine, V12. That's the way Ferraris were meant to be built. Front engine V12. 67 330 GTC, owned by Bob Little from Windsor. From Windsor. Bob, congratulations, Bob. The world's sports car. It's a Ferrari. 330 GTC. Second place. Second place in European sports pre-1980. 1958 Ferrari 250 Gran Turismo Elena from the legendary motor car collection in Halton Hills. Well, that's a great Ferrari. A 250 Gran Turismo Elena, a 1958 front engine V12. That car was presented at the Arizona Concours a couple of years ago. Thank you, Peter, for bringing that fabulous Ferrari 250 GTE. Second place. Now our best in class. Best in class. First place. European sports cars, pre-1980, 1951 Jaguar XK 120. Robert Kearns from Toronto. Ladies and gentlemen, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City named this as one of the top 10 sports car designs of all time. An XK 120 with a double overhead camshaft 6-cylinder motor in, looks like British Racing Green.
Irish Racing Green.
Oh, I'm sorry. Irish Racing Green, right.
This one was actually built in Ireland. It was built in Ireland.
Built in Ireland, okay.
Driven by an Irish.
Now, that model, the XK120, started out as a prototype, a concept car at the Earl's Court show in London, and it received such an enthusiastic reception that Jaguar started to build it. And the 120 means it'll go 120 miles an hour. First place.
Okay, this one's not coming up, so this is second place.
Nope.
It's overheating.
All right, Class 7, Classic Corvette, 63 to 67. This is the second place car. We're not going to have the third place car up here at the moment. This is a second place car, and that is a split window coupe, 1963. Fuel injected split window coupe, owned by Hugh Welsford from Burlington. The split window coupe only built 1 year. 1 year at Chevrolet, and that is the result of a big conflict between Bill Mitchell and Zora Arkus Duntov. Duntov did not like the split window. Mitchell did. They went to the corporate president and CEO, and they gave Mitchell the design for 1 year only, 1963. And what an iconic car that has become. First place in Corvette, 63 to 67, 1965 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray Roadster. Stingray, 1965, owned by Peter Bream from Shedden.
Shedden, Ontario. Shedden, Ontario.
Shedden, Ontario. '65 Corvette Stingray. First place, best in class Corvette, the C2.
No.
Next class, glamour cars of the space age, 1950s and 60s. What a great name for a class of automobiles. Wow. Glamour cars of the space age. Third place, that is the 1954 Kaiser Darren Roadster, owned by Hal Weiss from Toronto. 54 Kaiser Darren, named after Henry J. Kaiser, who owned the company, and Dutch Darren, who designed the car. Very innovative. Notice that the doors do not swing out. They slide forward into the front fenders. That was a special, innovative design by Dutch Darren, the incomparable Dutch Darren, who designed all kinds of special automobiles. 54 Dutch Darren designed Kaiser Darren, owned by Hal Weiss from Toronto. Fiberglass body, by the way, only a couple hundred of those made. Second place, 57 Ford Thunderbird. The T-Bird, owned by Brent and Connie Erickson from Thamesville. A 57 Ford. Now this is the E-Bird, and that means that that V8 Ford motor has dual quad carburation. 2 carburetors, that was an option. Double carburation made that little 2-passenger roadster a hot rod on the road, a factory hot rod. Dual quad carburation, 1957 Ford. Congratulations to Connie and Brent Erickson for that fabulous E-Code Thunderbird. First place, best in class. And ladies and gentlemen, it's the standard of the world. It's a Cadillac. Take a look at those outrageous fins. Designed at GM by a man named David Holes, who was one of the GM designer. He became director of design. He was one of the co-founders of the Meadowbrook Concours. First place, owned by Vern Smith from Swift Current, Newfoundland. That is a long trip to get that here. Big V8, dual exhaust, and the biggest fins in the industry. Cadillac outdid them all. They tended to get smaller the next year. 1959 Cadillac Eldorado, best in class. Congratulations, Vern. You did it again. The standard of the world, it's a Cadillac. Paul, don't get run over by that 59 Cadillac. All the way from Swift Current, Newfoundland. Next class, Class 9, American Post-War Performance. Third place, 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner hardtop, owned by Brian and Kathleen Eden from Arthur, Ontario. That is a sleeper, and yes, it's got a Hemi. Original Canadian car with that big block 426 Hemi dual quad motor, painted wheels, poverty caps, 2-door hardtop Roadrunner with a Hemi motor. Only 14 of those made in Canada. Second place, 71 Dodge Charger. Here's some more Mopar muscle. A Charger RT 71. Owned by Glenn Burrows from Hamilton. That's Hemi Orange, high impact, one of Chrysler Corporation's high impact colors, Hemi Orange. Vinyl roof, rally wheels. From Hamilton, Ontario, 1971 Dodge Charger RT. And the RT stands for Rapid Transit. right, first place. Best in class, ladies and gentlemen. First place, 1970 Plymouth Cuda. The legendary Plymouth Cuda from 1970. And this is an AAR Cuda. That stands for All American Racing, which was the name of Dan Gurney's race shop. All American Racing. Dan Gurney designed this. They were all powered by a 346-pack motor with a lot of horsepower. A very special 360 motor. Six-pack, 6 carburetors. Unbelievable. Owned by Sandro Broca from King City, Ontario. 1970 Plymouth Cuda.
Iconic Japanese.
There's only 2, so one of the ladies will be ahead of it.
Japanese. This is Japanese.
Iconic Japanese sports car, pre-1980. And boy, there's one of them. That's iconic. Second place. No third place cars. Second place, 68 Mazda Cosmo. When was the last time you saw one of those? Yeah, Rob said about 50 years ago. A Mazda Cosmo, back when you were a teenager. A 68 Mazda Cosmo owned by Fawaz Ahmed from Richmond Hill. Very, very unusual car. One of the early Mazdas. A Cosmo. This class is iconic Japanese sports car pre-1980. Best in class. First place, best in class, 1970 Datsun 240Z Series 1. Back when they were called Datsuns. Owned by Laverne Burkhart from Kitchener. Best in class, first place, 70 Datsun 240Z. 240Z. Series 1. That's one of the very early ones, ladies and gentlemen. A Datsun. Congratulations, Laverne. Laverne Burkhart from Kitchener. Japanese sports cars, 1981 to 2000. Third place. 1991 Acura NSX. What a great world-class sports car that is. 1991, I believe that was the first year for the Acura NSX. Owned by Oblivion Motors in Milton. Talk about early, that's car number 81. Who's Oblivion Motors?
Justin.
Third place, ladies and gentlemen, iconic Japanese sports cars, 1981 to 2000. 91 Acura, very, very early production. That is a world-class sports car, very desirable, owned by Oblivion Motors in Milton. Second place, it's a Mazda MX-5 Miata. 1990 Mazda MX-5 Miata, owned by Dylan Sharp from Hamilton. That car?
Yes.
That car was won in Las Vegas at a casino, at the Flamingo Casino. Somebody won that car. Maybe a current owner? No.
It has 30 miles on it.
It had 30 miles on it. Oh, now it's got 30 miles on it. Well, it's going to have 31 by the time it gets around the field. He's going to wear it out any minute. From the Flamingo, which no longer exists, by the way. First place, best in class, Toyota Celica Supra. Special performance, 1985 Toyota Celica Supra. Dan Griffiths from London owns that Supra with alloy wheels, rear deck spoiler, a very fast Toyota. Congratulations, Dan Griffiths from London. Class 12, custom resto mods. And boy, have they become popular. All the auctions are featuring resto mods. Resto mods. Original body, highly modified drivetrain and chassis on most resto mods. This third place, 67 Ford Mustang Fastback, owned by Travis Agresti from Holland Landing. Got alloy wheels, special. The body's been massaged a little bit, mild custom, and a high-performance motor. It's a Coyote motor, high-performance Coyote motor with a Whipple transmission. Supercharger. 67 Ford Mustang Fastback Resto Mod. Congratulations, Travis. Second place, ladies and gentlemen, 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air 210. A 210, and there's a Resto Mod. Everything on this car has been changed. Owned by Al Boughton from Caledon. He loves that color. Rear fender antenna, special handmade wheels, beautifully restored, supercharged, high performance. I think it's a Chevrolet crate motor. Yeah, it's a 427 Coyote crate motor. Congratulations, Al. First place, 1938 Lincoln Zephyr. And look at that super smooth, low, sleek custom. They started with a 1938 Lincoln Zephyr, and look at the result. A one-of-a-kind, beautiful, lowered street rod custom. Owned by David Jolly from Norval. 1938 Lincoln Zephyr. Boy, a beautiful job. If you look close on that, every detail has been dealt with and massaged and smoothed out. Inset taillights, beautiful Lincoln Zephyr design. Owned by David Jolly. A 38 Lincoln Zephyr custom convertible. Next class. Modern supercars and exotics, 2000 to present. Third place, 2024 Lamborghini Hurricane, owned by Ryan Van Barneveld from Waterdown. Brand new 2024 Lamborghini Hurricane Stirato, Ryan Van Barneveld from Waterdown. World-class supercar. Lots of horsepower, probably 200 miles per hour or better. That was third place. Second place coming up. 2015 Mercedes-Benz SLS, the final edition from Mercedes-Benz. One of the greatest names in automobiles today, Mercedes-Benz. A 2015 SLS final edition. Same owner as the previous car, Ryan Van Barneveld from Waterdown. Congratulations, Ryan. You're going to take home 2 cars and 2 awards. Mercedes-Benz SLS final edition. What a great name in automobiles, Mercedes-Benz. First place, best in class. Modern supercars and exotics. Wow, look at the style on that car. A 2019 Aston Martin DB11 AMR Signature Halo Edition. Joe Mira from Clarence City, New York. Congratulations, Joe. An Aston Martin, world-class sports car, hyper performance. From Aston Martin, a DB11 AMR Signature Halo Edition. Class number 14, Preservation Post-War. We have no third place winner. We have a second place, and this is a 1970 the legendary Ford Mustang Boss 302. This car was found in a barn where it had resided for almost 20 years. 1970 Boss 302, high performance 302, and are they ever popular and sought after? Side stripe, rear window louvers, rear deck wing, preservation class, that's not a restoration, came out of a barn. Like to find one of those, wouldn't you? Chase Van Dyne from Holland, Michigan owns that Boss 302. Here's best in class preservation. It's a Ford Mustang Fastback. 1967 Mustang GT owned by Natasha DeMolith from Baden, Pennsylvania. A fastback Mustang. Ford's been making great Mustangs since 1964, and they're still making them. It's the longest continuous built nameplate in American history. The Ford Mustang. Rally wheels, white walls, all original. That is your best in class on preservation. Class 15 classic station wagons. Oh, no third place. We have a second place.
There is third place, just not started.
It's not coming. Third place goes to a 54 Mercury Monterey Woody wagon owned by Fred Thorne of Owen Sound. The car is not coming up for review, but he is our third place winner. Second place on the stage. 1969 Pontiac Safari wagon owned by Steve Plunkett of London, Ontario. And that was the car, that car was owned by his mother, if I remember right, and he learned to drive in that car. And he tracked it down and bought it back, fully restored with the wooden side decals, Pontiac Safari. Best in class, 1958 Buick Century Caballero wagon, also from the Steve Plunkett collection in London, Ontario. Steve bought two cars. He's going to take 2 awards home. The Caballero, the very limited production, expensive wagon from Buick. It's literally a 4-door hardtop. There's no pillar between the front and the rear doors. They only made the Caballero 2 years, 57 of 58, and this is the lowest production year. Only a few hundred made. The Buick Caballero. Wouldn't you really rather drive a Buick? From the Steve Plunkett collection in London. Congratulations, Steve. Japanese vintage motorcycles pre-1990. Third place, 69 Honda Z50A K1 mini trail bike. A mini trail bike. Owned by Ron Stupart from Newmarket.
Oh, yeah.
We'll hold the award for you, Ron. You got to keep your hands on that handlebar in that monster motorcycle. Okay. Second place. 1984 Suzuki GSX 750 SE Katana Canadian Limited Edition. Number 4 of only 200 made. Owned by Marco Belperio from Schaumburg. Schaumburg is home to that Suzuki 1984 GSX 750. Number 4 of only 200 made. Congratulations, Marco. First place, 69 Honda CB 750. A 69 Honda CB 750 owned by John DeMaria from Bethany. John, congratulations from Bethany, a Honda. You meet the nicest people on a Honda. 1969 CB 750. Those are the winners in our Japanese vintage motorcycle.
Yeah.
Next class, Classic Ford Mustang, pre-1974. Third place, a 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 302. What a great Mustang. One of the muscle cars around 1970 made by Ford under the Mustang nameplate. What a great muscle car. The Boss 302, high performance 302 V8, window louver, side stripe, rear deck wing, rally wheels, owned by Bob Nickel from Owen Sound. A Boss 302. Second place, 66 Ford Shelby. Ford Shelby GT350H. Owned by William Hallque from Toronto. Shelby GT350. And that's the H model that was sold to Hertz Rental Car. Could you imagine? You go in and rent a Mustang, high performance fastback from Hertz. I wonder how many they got back, went missing. This is owned by William Hallque from Toronto, 1966 Ford Shelby, the very rare Hertz edition, black with a gold stripe. Black with a gold stripe. Congratulations, William. First place, best in class. Classic Ford Mustang pre-1974. It's a 69 Ford Shelby GT 500. Not 289, this is the 500. Andrew Schuler from Granton, 67 Mustang Fastback. Congratulations, Andrew. Best in class. Our next class, ladies and gentlemen, Class 18, Vintage Race Cars. Vintage Race Cars. 1964 Porsche 904 GTS, third place car from Legendary Motor Car Collection in Halton Hills. 64 Porsche 904 GTS, one of the early great factory race cars from Porsche. When you hear that name, you know it's fast. High performance Porsche. Second place in our vintage race car class, the 1952 Allard JR, owned by Norm Moffat from Huntsville. 52 Allard JR. One of 7 made, and Norm's father bought that car brand new. Been in the family all this. Oh, I see. It was sold in '58 by his father, and he just found the car again and bought it back. What a great story. One of 7 made, purchased new by Norm's father from Huntsville. A 52 Allard JR. Left-hand drive. That's how Carol Shelby got started with the Allard. Best in class, ladies and gentlemen. First place, 1957 Ferrari 250 GT, long wheelbase Berlinetta. Fred Fisher from Wildwood, Missouri. This car took second place in the 1957 Tour de France. That's a Tour de France Ferrari, the world sports car with great race history. The Tour de France. 57 250 GT long wheelbase Berlinetta. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
1937 Ford.
And now to the special awards, ladies and gentlemen. We're through all 18 classes.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Okay.
Do we need the announcement for the chief judges?
We're on to the special awards.
Yes.
The class, I was just asked by our chief judge if the class chief judges would go over to the area where those cars are parked off to your left to make some special selections. If you're a class chief judge, please go over on your left to the special parking area for the best in class cars.
What award's up first, David? It'll be the chairman's because we have to skip the judging.
Our next award category is the Chairman's Award. The Chairman's Award.
Which one's chairs? Which one is it? Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is our founder and our esteemed chairman who has put this event together for 10 years, Mr. Rob McLeese, and his selection as the recipient of the Chairman's Award. Yeah, I saw him earlier. The car, ladies and gentlemen, is a 1937 Cord Sportsman convertible. No back seat on the Sportsman, the convertible coupe from Cord, 1937. Last year the Cord was made. This car is supercharged. Supercharged, one of only a handful of supercharged. Pipes out the side of the hood, owned by Al Webster, who's been with us for many years. Al Webster, congratulations. That is the Chairman's Award vehicle. Congratulations, Al. 1937 supercharged Cord convertible coupe. And our hot rod driver, Al Webster, is 92 years old. Al, congratulations, you look great. That car designed by Gordon Buick, front wheel drive, supercharged V8 motor. And this is our chief judge's choice of all the cars on the field. John Carlson, with years of judging experience, knows a good car when he sees it. What is it? Oh, it's a 52 Allard. We just had it up here. It's the Allard Roadster. Norm Moffat from Huntsville. Again, his father bought that car brand new. It was sold out of the family, and he searched for years. He found it and bought it back, one of only 7 made. Well, we've had some great cars up here for you to see them. It's fun to see them run and drive. All right, coming up next, thank you, John, for making that selection. Rolling Sculpture Award. Okay. National Association of Automobile Clubs of Canada, the Rolling Sculpture Award, presented by John Carlson and Doug Keith, director of the NAACC board. That fabulous Bentley, custom bodied by Fagoni and Falaschi, teardrop fenders, fender skirts on the rear, biplane bumpers, 2-passenger coupe from a fabulous classic Bentley. Exotic body by Fagoni and Falaschi. What a great car. Owned by John Shalhoub from St. Louis, Missouri. That is the National Association of Automobile Clubs of Canada, the Rolling Sculpture Award. And they got that right. That is a beauty.
What's the historical significance?
National Association of Automobile Clubs of Canada. This award is a vehicle with historic significance. Historical significance. 1970 Boss 302 Mustang. Chase Van Dyne from Holland, Michigan. Historical Significance Award. Oops, say that again. Okay. The NAACC directors, please go up, surround that car for a photo op. And that is the Barn Find 302 Mustang Fastback, a car they selected as having outstanding historical significance. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations to the owner of that Barn Find Mustang 302 Fastback, John Shalom from St. Louis, Missouri. Spirit of the Hobby Award is next. AACA Spirit of the Hobby Award to be presented by Rob McLeese. 68 Ford Shelby Mustang GT 500 KR, Peter Wojciech from Bardville, Indiana. That's as good as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. A GT 500 KR, King of the Road, a Shelby muscle car from Mustang and Carroll Shelby. Thank you, Rob. Here's another special award, ladies and gentlemen. The Concours Debut Award. First time showing for a car. The Concours Debut Award, 1958 Lincoln Continental Mark III convertible, owned by Anthony Polito from Lindsay. Oh, that's right. This is the one that was originally owned by Maybe Van Doren in Hollywood, and it is known to have been ridden in by Clark Gable a number of times. This was a new body style and unibody construction introduced by Lincoln in 1958. Canted dual hubcaps or headlights, and the rear window, it has the breezeway ventilation. The rear window goes up and down, and the whole top goes out of sight under the rear deck lid. Mamie Van Doren's car. I believe it was used in a couple of movies as well. Transported Clark Gable to the studio. Boy, that's great history. Margaret Dunning. Here is the Margaret Dunning Spirit of Driving Award, named after Margaret Dunning. 1914 Ford Model T Touring, owned by Seamus Hatt from Chesterfield, Michigan. A Model T Ford touring car. And ladies and gentlemen, Seamus drove that car here, the Model T, all the way from Detroit. And it went on the tour. Congratulations, Seamus. He works for the Stahl Collection in Chesterfield, Michigan. Drove it all the way here. It goes 60 miles an hour, 30 ahead and 30 up and down. The Bruce Gray Simcoe Award. Presented by, I think Paul went down with the class winners. Award to be presented by Heather McLeese. That is an Amphicar. An Amphicar, 1962 Amphicar 770, owned by Fred Pierce from Etobicoke. An Amphicar, it'll go in the water. It's twin screw. They're double propellers underneath that rear bumper. An Amphicar, built in Germany. That is the Bruce Gray Simcoe Award. most elegant pre-war. And this fabulous 1929 Lincoln Model L dual cowl sport Phaeton by Lock Body Company, presented by Rob McLeese. Lisa McLeese is going to present this one. Or is it Rosemary? Lisa's got it, okay. Fabulous Lincoln Lock Body, custom bodied by Lock. 29 Lincoln dual cowl Phaeton. Owned by Bill Webinga from Picton. Okay, most elegant post-war. A 2007 Weissman GT MF4. Look at that wild car. Have you ever seen another one? Owned by Tony Burgess from North York. Tony Burgess. A 2007 Weissman GT MF4. Tony Burgess is a proud owner of that very special car. Most elegant post-war selection from North York.
Keep showing me where just for.
How are we doing?
We like to get it with just them.
Yeah, okay. Our next specialty award, the McLaughlin Legacy Award. 1929 Cadillac dual cowl sport Phaeton with a Fisher body, a Cadillac owned by Jeff Weller from Lake City, Michigan. The McLaughlin Legacy Award presented by Rob and Rosemary McLeese. Rosemary McLaughlin McLeese. 29 Cadillac dual cowl, Jeff Weller, Lake City, Michigan. Congratulations, Jeff. Running board spotlight over on this side, luggage rack, got a trunk on the back, dual cowl Phaeton. Flathead V8 motor. What a statement by Cadillac. That is a beauty. 1929. The next year, the V16 came out.
Was it 29, Rosie?
Tom Thompson Art Gallery, Timeless Design. 1923 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost Pall Mall Tour, owned by Roger Melton, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Coachwork by Merrimack Body Company. Merrimack. Beautifully restored. A Rolls-Royce. Standard of the world. Rolls-Royce. This is a Silver Ghost. Right-hand drive. Side mounts, wire wheels, luggage rack, and trunk on the back. The Tom Thompson Art Gallery Timeless Award. Timeless Design Award. Ingenuity? To who? Recognition of Haggerty Youth Judging Winner. Recognition of the Haggerty Youth Judging Winner. Talk about a concept car, ladies and gentlemen. 1958 GM Firebird 3 from the Heritage Collection, maintained by General Motors in Grand Blanc, Michigan. The Firebird 3, the third and final turbine-powered Firebird. And you talk about an advanced design from 1958. Harley Earl was the man that spearheaded that design. This car was selected by the Haggerty Youth judges as their favorite car on the field. And we can all see why. Harley Earl, there are 9 fins on that car. 9 of them. Turbine power. The kids all ask, can it fly? Thank you to the Haggerty Youth judges for making their selection. You picked a winner, young. Yep. Thank you, gentlemen. Good work. Good work, Lockie. The Cyclone 3. Hmm?
I told him that we'll get him the award.
Ingenuity Award. Up next in our special award category, a 1916 Anderson Electric. Talk about silent, you can't hear it run. An electric from 1916. It's an Anderson Electric car company, Detroit Electric Model 60, owned by Jack Beatty in Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Jack Beatty owns that car, a Detroit Electric. No steering wheel, you use a tiller. Jack Beatty has a collection of electric cars, and he sent this one today. Loaded with batteries, probably go 200 or 300 miles on a charge, just like the cars are engineering today. 100-year-old EV. Nine fins on that futuristic Firebird 3. Designed by Harley Earl at General Motors. What a statement from 1958.
Poetry in Motion.
The who? Okay, Poetry in Motion, ladies and gentlemen. Poetry in Motion Special Award. '59 Chevrolet Corvette, owned by Vive Agresti from Holland Landing, and he named this car Vivacious. Yes, understandably vivacious. Vive Agresti, Holland Landing, Ontario. 59 Corvette, custom modified. Now we'd like to thank everybody that cast their People's Choice. Okay, Vive, we get the point. Probably 600 or 700 horsepower under that hood. No. What did he do?
He said more. He goes,
how about 900?
yeah, there we go.
Oh, all right. 900 horsepower. Yeah, just watch out for the OPP when you drive that home. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to everyone that cast their People's Choice ballots. Here is the winner. People's Choice Award, 1959 Cadillac Eldorado convertible from Swift Current, Newfoundland, owned by Mr. Vern Smith, who makes that trip every year to come here and be with us. Congratulations, Vern. People's Choice. The biggest fins in the industry. Designed by David Holes at Cadillac, head of the Cadillac studio. Vern Smith from Swift Current, Newfoundland. He has to ride with his car on a ferry for hours to get here. Thank you, Vern. People's Choice, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for everyone that cast the People's Choice Award. Most outstanding sports car. 1958 Ferrari 250 GT. Turismo, Gran Turismo, Elena, legendary motor car collection. Thank you, Peter Clute. Ferrari, most outstanding sports car. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're down to 3 awards. Oh, one more special award to go. Fashion Award for the participant. Our last special award, Fashion Award participant. Is that Mamie Van Dorn? 1965 Ford Mustang convertible owned by Jerry Swafford from South Lyon, Michigan. Red and white polka dots. Congratulations, Jerry. The Fashion Award for the participant. An early 65 Mustang, first full year of production of the Mustang. Beautifully restored with a rear deck trunk rack. Congratulations, Jerry. From South Lyon, Michigan, Jerry Swafford. Got her name on the license plate. That is great. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Okay, I understand there's some last-minute tabulation going on, dealing with the outstanding pre-war car, outstanding post-war car, and ultimately the best in show. 3 to go. Outstanding pre-war, outstanding post-war, and best of show.
Oh, I'd love to climb to mountain, reach the highest peak, but it doesn't thrill me half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I'd love to go out fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Now, mama, dance with me. I want my arms about you, the charms about you will carry me through. Yes, heaven. I'm in heaven. And my heart beats so.
We have 3 awards to go, ladies and gentlemen. The suspense is building. The judges are making their final determination. Paul, thank you for your effort down there, for making all these cars go in the right direction. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Oslantz, thank you. He's directed traffic down there for 9 years. He's known as the Grand Master. What is it, Rob? Grand Master. Master Traffic Controller. Thank you, Paul. Great job.
When we're out together, dancing cheek to cheek. Heaven, I'm in heaven. And the cares that hung around me through the week seem to vanish like a gambler's lucky streak. When we're out together, dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I love to climb a mountain and to reach the highest peak, but it doesn't thrill me.
What an amazing field of collector cars. The best ever. Rob, this is the best ever field of cars here in 10 years. At the 10th annual Cobble Beach Concours d'Elegance.
As dancing cheek to cheek, come on and dance with me. I want my arm about you, the charm about you will carry me through to heaven. I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak.
judges are making their final deliberation for the last 3 awards. Outstanding pre-war, outstanding post-war, and best of show.
Cheek to cheek. Yes, dance with me. I want my arms about you. That charm about you will carry me through to heaven. I'm in heaven. And my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. And I seem to find the happiness I see when we're out together, dancing cheek to cheek, cheek to cheek, cheek to cheek, cheek to cheek.
judges, we're ready down here. That's got to be a difficult task with all those wonderful cars down there, all best in class, and some special award winners, and we're waiting for the final 3 automobiles for best pre-war, best post-war, and best in show. So we're ready at this end, gentlemen.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me.
Rob?
My lover stands on golden sand.
Please don't go away.
Watches the ships that go sailing.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to celebrate a remarkable milestone, the 10th anniversary of the Concours d'Elegance here at Cobble Beach, a testament to the vision and dedication of Rosemary and Rob McLeese. 10 years ago, they embarked on a journey to create a truly exceptional event, one that would honor the artistry and craftsmanship of automotive design. Through their passion and commitment, they have turned a simple idea into a grand tradition, attracting enthusiasts and admirers from all over North America at one of the finest Concours d'Elegances in North America. Their tireless efforts have not only showcased stunning vehicles, but also fostered a community united by a shared love for elegance and excellence. The Concours d'Elegance here at Cobble Beach has become more than just a show. It is a celebration of heritage, authenticity, and innovation. Rosemary and Rob, your hard work and unwavering dedication have been an inspiration to all of us. On behalf of everyone here, we extend our heartfelt congratulations and deepest gratitude. Here's to celebrating this significant achievement and to many more years of elegance and success. Thank you, Rob and Rosemary McLeese. 10 years under their belt. Congratulations. A special award for them that they knew nothing about. Thank you to Janelle, Jessica, Allie, and Paige.
We'll meet, I know we'll meet beyond the shore. We'll kiss just as before.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
And never again I'll go sail.
Thank you, ladies.
No more sailing, so long sailing, bye-bye sailing. Move on out, Captain.
I believe Rob mentioned it earlier, but today we have automobiles here from 12 U.S. states and 9 Canadian provinces. Boy, what a record. 10 down and more to go. Well, we have the results for the final 3 awards: Best Pre-War, Best Post-War, and Best in Show. So if we could get those cars lined up and bring them on up. Okay, Paul, you're on. Are they going to go all the way around? Yep.
Normally they stop right there as the 3, but somebody forgot to stop here. Oh well. I'm going to ask them to go around.
And ladies and gentlemen, here comes our best pre-war vehicle on the field today, as determined by all of our class judges. The best outstanding pre-war car, 1932 Marmon. 1932 Marmon, selected by our judges as the most outstanding pre-war car. Marmon 16 convertible coupe, owned by Brent Merrill, Gallery 260 in Toronto. Outstanding post-war.
So just leave them just like this, don't announce them. It'll be all fake. Just for a second. Okay. That's it. Actually, it's pretty tough to tell who the best show is right now.
Pardon me? Yeah.
Do you have the music? First? We did the music.
Best pre-war is a 32 Marmon 16-cylinder convertible coupe. Most outstanding post-war car. Most outstanding post-war car. 1957 Ferrari 250 GT long wheelbase Berlinetta, owned by Fred Fisher of Wildwood, Missouri. '57 Ferrari 250 GT long wheelbase Berlinetta, Fred Fisher from Wildwood, Missouri. That car came in second in the Tour de France. Front wheel or front engine V12. Great race history, fabulous automobile. The world's sports car, it's a Ferrari.
And if you only would be my own for the rest of my days, I will whisper this phrase, my darling, c'est si bon, oui, oui.
Coming up next, most outstanding pre-war car. Most outstanding pre-war car, 1932 Marmon 16-cylinder convertible coupe, one of 7 known to exist, owned by Brent Merrill, Gallery 260 in Toronto. Marmon 16-cylinder. One of 500 made. Approximately 500 Marmon 16s made. Around 50 or 52 still in existence. And ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Best in Show. Best in Show, 1947 Bentley Mark VI Fagoni and Falaschi Custom Coupe, owned by John Shalhoub from St. Louis, Missouri. A fabulous, fabulous teardrop fendered Bentley Fagoni and Falaschi coachwork. One of a kind. Biplane bumpers, chrome trim around the fenders, rear fender skirts, elegant transportation for 2. Best in Show. And champagne for the winners.
So starry-eyed, once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You may hear angels cheer because we're together. Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day. Oh, just say those words and we'll beat those birds down to Acapulco Bay. It's perfect for the flying.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are the 3 big winners. If you'd like to see them up close and personal, come on up. Come on up, take a look, take a photo, see these cars up close and personal. Ferrari, Marmon, Bentley, 3 great world-class automobiles. Congratulations to the owner. Come on up and take a look. You're welcome to inspect the cars, meet the owner, and get your photographs.
You way up there, where the air is oh so rarefied. We're gonna glide, absolutely petrified. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You're gonna even hear a whole gang of angels cheer because we're together. Weather-wise, it's an absolutely lovely thing. Oh, sweetie, just say that word. I'm gonna beat your bird all the way to Acapulco Bay. Well, it's perfect for a flying honeymoon. They say, come fly with me, let's fly, we'll fly away.
gentlemen, that is a wrap for today, the 10th annual Cobble Beach Concours d'Elegance. I hope you enjoyed the cars and the presentation. The judges did a fabulous job. Congratulations to Rosemary and Rob McLeese. My name is Ed Lucas. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and it's an honor for me to be here and work with all these wonderful people. My 10th year, and I couldn't be more honored to be here with everyone. Thank you. Thanks to John Carlson and his wonderful wife, Coco, for all the work they do in selecting these winners. You talk about a tough job. Wow, this is it. Thank you. See you next year. Same time, same place. We'll all be back. And drive safely going home.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com. You're watching Rogers TV.
When we were talking about the name, some people were even worried it was maybe too strong. She is your neighbor. What about she could be your neighbor? It's not just that it could be happening to your neighbor, it is happening.
We're just gonna get set up over here.
People don't talk about domestic violence. They don't talk about women's shelters. You kind of knew it happened or these things existed, but it just was kind of under the radar.
A lot of people are still existing kind of in that shame and stigma that has surrounded domestic violence for so long. Are you ready? Yes. Coming forward and telling your story is very intimidating. This is the scariest thing that's ever happened to them. It's the most intense thing that's ever happened to them, and one of the bravest things that you can do.
Okay, Colette, I'd like you to look right here at me. All right.
Back in 1997, I was almost murdered by my ex-boyfriend. I kicked him out of my house after 3 months of living with me, and he came back 7 months later and tried to kill me. He called that night to tell me he was coming to retrieve his things. At 11:40, he kicked my door down. I remember trying to get to the knife drawer before him. He took the biggest knife in the drawer and turned me around and slit my throat. I ran to my parents' house. I didn't make it there. He dragged me back and he stabbed me 37 times. Police came. I was rescued, taken to the hospital, and after that was the trial. He got 9 years for attempted murder, 2 years for forcible confinement. He went to prison, and I tried to get on with my life. When you suffer trauma like I suffered, you already carry so much shame, and you feel like people don't want to hear it. They say it's been long enough now, keep going, forget about it. Society makes you feel like you've done something wrong because you didn't leave early enough or you didn't kick them out early enough. I never saw those signs because I didn't understand that, you know? When he would call me 20 times a day, I thought he was calling because he loved me. The one thing that I would have needed would have been a person like me to talk to.
I think there could be a misconception with folks thinking that if it's that bad, why are women not leaving? If there's bruises, that is what violence looks like, but essentially violence has many different forms.
We kind of see a mix of all types of people. At any time, we're either at capacity or very close to capacity, and about half of our residents at all times are children. There's no really one type of woman that this is happening to.
Even if you see news stories about domestic violence, like the standard stock image is always the same thing. It's usually like a woman leaning against a wall, her face in her hands, upset, just depicting someone who's really broken. I think sometimes it's just too much to take, so it would make people turn away. We need people to feel like, oh, this is something I want to be on board with. This is something I care about. This is something I'm proud to talk about supporting.
Domestic violence has been about shame and hiding and secrecy, but it's just amazing, the strength of the people that live here and some of the stories that I've heard of. It felt like something that really I had to do, like that we had to do, that we had to share these stories to really change the narrative. And then we kind of talked about how could we do this? How could we share photos and show people in a different light?
We really wanted to do a campaign where people talked about domestic violence, understood what it was, and understood kind of how close to home it was.
They were talking about what she is. Like she's a mom, she's a sister. She's not just, a victim. She could be anybody.
We came up with the slogan, "She is your neighbor." We thought that really kind of represented what we were trying to get at. It's happening in your neighborhood, kind of whether you like it or not, and it's something we need to recognize and talk about. I think the podcast really did kind of bring it to life because people had the chance to tell their own story. You were brought right into it.
There are so many different aspects of these survivors that are so strong and so brave and so courageous, and we wanted to show them like that.
Could you start by sharing a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a child of domestic violence, we'll put it that way. That's really intergenerational trauma if we debunk it in a conversation.
I went back the day following. It was going to change, and I believed it.
You can cover your bruises, but you can't cover the way you feel.
And that's how insidious abuse is. It starts off with these underhanded compliments.
We had launched 2 episodes of the podcast initially at the same time. We immediately saw downloads skyrocket. We had survivors reaching out to us almost immediately saying that they had never recognized themselves as a survivor until they heard what had happened to them through the voices of other people.
They would say, this was so empowering for me, and I felt free that I could finally share my story.
When they take it back and share their story and their experiences in their own words, then it's theirs and it's their power. It's not somebody else's over them.
I think that's what took so long for me to get better, is because I couldn't share my story with anyone. I thought I was the only one. After 20-some years, I thought I was the only one that suffered this because I didn't hear of anybody else. I started sharing my story, and for the first time, I felt like I was being heard.
People say that when there's awareness, then action can follow. More people are talking about it, and awareness is growing. That's kind of the next step. We need to go into action.
It's been very, very scary for me, but I want people to look back and say, because of you, I never gave up. Because of you, I love myself more. And because of you, I asked for help. I know now that this is my mission and this is my purpose.
Prescription drugs since my mom passed. Please tell God I'm sorry, and I really just want to feel his love right now. I don't want to kill myself. Can you please pray for me?
This is Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome, everyone, back to RVT Sports Wrap. Now, I'm going to mention it off the top. Next week will be our OHL preview show, so make sure you tune in next week. You want to hear about all the attack information that all the crew is going to have. That will be next week. So for this week, however, the NFL is the lead story, guys, and I think we got to start off with what JC's wearing. I will mention JC, Michael Harris, and of course, Lucas Ireland out of Kitchener back with us again. But JC, I'm going to start with you because you're wearing a Saints jersey, and they put a shellacking on both teams they played. Now, they played the Carolina Panthers, who suck. We're not gonna joke about that. They suck. But the Dallas Cowboys have a really good defense. Micah Parsons is arguably a top 5 defensive player in football, and the Cowboys had no answer to that Alvin Kamara offense. He had 4 touchdowns in that game, 3 rushing, 1 receiving. JC, are the Saints for real? That's my open question to you. Are the Saints for real?
Well, obviously, I need to mess with my color settings because this is a Green Bay Packers jersey, not a Saints jersey. And if you're seeing gold and black over there, Spencer, oh boy, one of us has an issue here. I did watch both of those games, actually, in the basement man cave on Sunday. I, of course, had the Packers game up on my big projector screen. And then on the little screen that sits on a little table next to it, I had the shellacking with Dallas, and I wasn't even anticipating that. I've got a best friend that's a diehard Cowboys fan, and I will watch the Cowboys just to either feel elation or feel pain along with him, and that was nothing but pain. Nothing went right on Sunday for the Dallas Cowboys. They were embarrassed. It is probably going to be a long season. At least they haven't started strong, so at least we don't have to put up with who dem boys and all those chants. Those are long out the window, but it was ugly, and all signs are kind of pointing to a long season in Dallas.
I would agree with you there. And in fairness to me, JC, as you mentioned your color background, the shirt looked black to me. It's what got me. It looked black, not green. I do see the yellow now, not gold around you. So I will give you credit on wearing, I believe, 12 would have to be. Is that Aaron Rodgers, the trader himself going to Green Bay? Before I make any more mistakes?
It's like impossible to get the names off these things, so I'm just going to wear it. And if anybody asks, do you like that, dude? I'm going to be like, no, not a fan. I just like the jersey.
See, and for all the parents out there, that's the smart thing about buying blanks is because they can never age out. Unless the team moves like poor Arizona, the jerseys never age out. So it all works out in that way. Now we'll go to you, Michael. The Steelers are 2-0. Justin Fields had a pretty good second game. I'm not going to say quarterback controversy because I think it gets thrown around too much, but I think that even if Russell Wilson gets healthy, I think there's a strong argument that Justin Fields is still the guy in Pittsburgh.
Well, and I said it last week, the fact that they considered going with Russell Wilson to start the season totally flabbergasted me. Why not go with the guy that still had some upside when really you're not challenging for a Super Bowl probably anyway? Hopefully you get Mike McCarthy, or not Mike McCarthy, that's in Dallas, I'm thinking him. Hopefully you get Mike Tomlin, another winning season. But it should be Justin Fields to run with. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, it may not be running like a Ferrari, but it's the K car. It's getting you there. 2-0. Can't argue with that. I mean, it's a good start. Who knows if they can hang on? You look at the Bengals, and you look at, within the division, the Bengals not doing so hot, and Baltimore Ravens at 0-2 as well. So at least it's a good start and a good lead early, and I would stick with Justin Fields. I hope they feel the same.
Now, before we hit a couple of the other games, Michael, you mentioned, because there's a couple more I do want to talk about just scoreline-wise and team-wise. We are going to go to that Chiefs-Bengals game because the Chiefs just are able to pull out that game 26-25 on the Bengals. They're now 0-2 to start the year, as you mentioned. And Lucas, you were talking about you had a chance to watch the game, and as not an NFL spectator normally, you're trying to get into it more. What did you make of that particular game? Because that's a big AFC matchup.
Well, I thought that it was a very entertaining game, and it was one of those games that obviously it went down to the wire. I had no idea who was going to win, and, obviously KC coming out with the clutch field goal with just, I believe, 3 seconds remaining on the clock to beat the Bengals. So that was a very, very entertaining game, and I don't know if they play again this season, but the way that I look at for Cincinnati, I know obviously they're 0-2 as we mentioned there, but you look at how they played that game, they didn't play bad. They almost won. They right down to the final 3 seconds, just lost by 1 point. So I'd look at that game with a few positives if I was Cincy.
Well, again, just looking down the score lines, and I think another big one that I have to mention because I was a person who thought I'm going to take the LA Rams in a game, and they got crushed as well. The Arizona Cardinals crushed them, and now they look maybe for real. Kyler Murray's finally healthy with the new ACL. He came back halfway through last year. He had a full training camp this year. They look primed and ready to go. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 2 touchdowns in that game. He had, I think, 2 catches in the first game. He was their first round pick, I believe, 3rd or 4th overall this year out of Ohio State. So it looks like, I think they called him Maserati Marvin, finally looks ready to go. And obviously, as most of you will know, Marvin Harrison Sr., as we can call him now for the Indianapolis Colts, was one heck of a wide receiver, JC. So it looks like the Arizona Cardinals in a really good division with the Rams who are now 0-2, a really good division. And the Arizona Cardinals could be a team that run the Niners all the way to the end.
Yeah, and you say run, and I think that's the literal term to use here of what might be the edge, is because right now, well, the 49ers have McCaffrey out for who knows how long. The running game right now, they've got 3 really good backs led by James Conner in Arizona. And that running game, the fact that Murray's kind of found his game, all of a sudden, this is a scary Arizona team again. And if you've got division opponents who are faltering, all of a sudden you're getting ahead by weeks now. You can end up in a really good place when the season's over.
Now, there's so many games I kind of want to talk about. So I guess, Michael, I'll go to you next with the LA Chargers. They were able to pull out another big win. They're now 2-0 on the year. And this was, I'd say, more of a Jim Harbaugh game, 26-3 over the Panthers. We've already talked about how bad they are. So it isn't an impressive win because of who they beat, but they're a running team. They've proven that. J.K. Dobbins, I think, is averaging 8 yards a carry right now, which is ridiculous. And he's had surgery after surgery after surgery with the Baltimore Ravens previously. So it looks like the Chargers, even with Justin Herbert, are not a throwing team. They're still that power run defensive team that Jim Harbaugh is known for at Michigan and previously my San Francisco 49ers. So the Chargers, again, are their interesting team in a tough division with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, big time. And like what freedom it gives you when you start 2-0, right? And they've sent Bryce Young to the bench. They're responsible for, the benching of last year's first overall pick in Carolina. But it shows different coach, different approach. We all look at Justin Herbert and think, holy jumping, he can really throw the ball. He's got this, hose of an arm. But maybe a more balanced approach is exactly what he needed, right? And have some success that way. There's all sorts of different ways to win. And when you find that balance, get a run game going, that can also make a quarterback look really good. But unlocking Justin Herbert's talents, and that's going to be really crucial for Harbaugh. Harbaugh, it looks like early in the season, he's done that.
Now, the last game I'm going to mention before I get a chance to dunk on somebody, but he sadly isn't here to do it. So, Lucas, before I get a chance to just have a little bit more fun with the show, we're going to end with, I would say, the Lions versus the Bucs. That's another game where the Lions were the favorite. They're a really good football team, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a great week 1. Baker Mayfield looked great. We talked about it. They come out again. They win week 2. They're now 2-0 on the season. Like, the Buccaneers are another team where you look at them and you're like, well, they got Mike Evans, they got Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. Are they a team that, again, could be really good this time in the NFC?
Well, unfortunately, that was one of the games that I never got the chance to watch, so I didn't see how they did. But Tampa, for me, especially over the last few years, have been a team that, as you said, not much of an NFL spectator, but they are a team that has kind of caught my attention. I do think that they are a team that could be going places in this season, but if not this season, in the near future.
Now, the game that I mentioned previously before I let Lucas go on the Buccaneers train is the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, as Manny Pavas in here, I sadly can't do it in person, but I'll do it virtually anyway. The Philadelphia Eagles lose to the Atlanta Falcons at home, 22-21, in a last-second crunch time win by Kirk Cousins. And as much as Atlanta has lots of weapons, Kyle Pitts, former first-round pick, Bijan Robinson, former first-round pick, Drake London, former first-round pick, they just paid Cousins, $200 million over 4 years, which is ridiculous. I am overjoyed that the Eagles blew that game because I genuinely thought in Philly, two-score game in favor of Philadelphia, it's not going to be a close football game. I just like that football team. I think they're really good. and they blow it, JC. You know how happy it made me feel when I heard it, when I saw the alert says crunch time, touchdown Cousins, and they lost it. I mean, it just put a big smile on my face, and I sadly can't put this big smile in front of Manny Pavo, but I'll do. You guys will be good enough for me.
I think the end of the game was best summed up in a text from my best friend that said, they're probably going to riot in Philly tonight after that ending. Like, they just let them come down the field. They couldn't stop them. And, I mean, I'm always rooting for Kirk Cousins. You got to love a dude like that works hard and is still in the league. But come on, Philly. And I don't think Manny will show up for a month now because of that game.
Well, I hope you know, JC, I just got a text from the great Mark Perry that says he was in Philly for the game. So he made his way to Philly to watch that monstrosity. So this smile just got a little bit bigger, guys. Just got a little bit bigger. And again, I love Manny Pavo, and I like to think he likes me. But when that kind of stuff happens, it's almost like poetry in motion. It's just a little bit sweeter when you get to hear that kind of piece of information. So I hope Manny had fun in Philadelphia and on the streets of Philadelphia, man, at JC, as you mentioned, after that loss. I mean, that just makes me feel so good. And the last thing we're going to talk about for football before we move off it and go into the NHL is a topic that I did kind of skip because it did skip my mind a little bit, but I've just relocked back onto it. Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins has had his 4th concussion in 5 years, had one in Alabama in 2019. He had 2 years ago in 2022, and he's just had his 4th one this year against the Buffalo Bills in a 31-10 loss. He has now been put on the IR. He'll miss the next 4 games at least, and that will put him to, I believe, week 6 or 7 to be next available for them. And I know I've heard the rumors of going to a neurologist to see how these concussions are going to affect him mentally and physically as his NFL career. We'll see if it goes on and life goes on. So I'll start with you, Michael, on that. Just what have you made of that Tua Tagovailoa story as it's unfolded the last week?
Yeah, and again, we touched on it, I think, a little bit last week. I only watched that game for about 5 minutes, and I have to be watching when that happened. And I thought right away, like, it wasn't a vicious hit. He ran his own head into Damar Hamlin, so it wasn't like a vicious from behind, unpredictable hit. You knew he was in trouble right when he went down. Gosh, I guess what I'd say about it, it's just this, as we all know, the unpredictable nature of head injuries, right? And, you hear a lot of people calling for him to retire right away. It is his head, it's his career, it's all that sort of stuff. But what I make of the story is I just feel bad for him. And I feel bad for football fans, to be honest, right? Like, if I'm being a little bit more callous, but he can be very fun to watch, and he's obviously a talented athlete and football player. So I hope he takes the time, and I know he will. Those around him will force him to, and certainly league rules have started to force people to. He'll take the time. He'll see the right people. I hope he's able to come back. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm a political science teacher. I hope he's able to come back and get healthy, but it's just so scary. I feel bad for him. I want him to be able to perform. We all want to be able to do the career that we choose and that we train for. So it'd just be devastating for him if this was the end. I hope it's not. But again, head injuries, you just can't mess around with those. So good luck to him as he seeks more answers. And not a Dolphins fan, but I'm a fan of people and certainly want to see him healthy.
Now, Lucas, again, we've already kind of gone over that you're just getting into football now. And honestly, you could say Miami might be one of the most exciting teams in football. Tyreek Hill, absolute burner. Jalen Waddle, absolute burner. Devon Achane, absolute burner. They had Raheem Mostert, who just came back to the Niners. They've had just speed all over the field. Doesn't matter what position. They've just got gas. So they're a very fun team to watch. And without Tua, with the keys to the Ferrari, they're just not the same team.
No, absolutely not. And, Tua is one of those players that, I would hear about quite often. And, I would hear about his injuries quite often. I didn't realize it was his 4th one until I believe last week when I heard about it. So, my thoughts on that, it's just a very unfortunate situation for not for him, but also his team to be in. And, it's just one of those things where, this is his 4th concussion. What's going to happen moving forward? Like, I know he wants to come back. I heard that he has no plans to retire at his current age. So my guess is we will absolutely see him return. But, what happens if it happens again? Or if it happens again after that? It's just too unpredictable right now. So best of luck to him, and I hope everything goes out okay.
And JC, I'll let you chime in on Tua Tagovailoa's situation. Again, he's on the IR. He'll miss the next 4 weeks at least. We'll see how many more weeks he will miss. And obviously, I do think that, no offense to the Dolphins, their particular season is on the back